All right, we are back here at Valor Fights 29, and it is time for our next bout. It's going to be a catchweight, 175 pounds. Khalil Boyd out of Memphis, Tennessee, making his debut against 4-0 Yemi Oduwole out of Knuckle Up. Khalil Boyd was a big guy, like a ripped-up guy. He looked good. Debut against 4-0, though. It's always interesting to see what the debut has in store.
Well, it's a tall order, and you know, we discussed the independents from Memphis, Tennessee before. The last one that we saw earlier tonight, he was a tough guy. He brought the fight. He didn't get the victory, however. And to step up against Yemi Oduwole, 4-0, of course, out of Knuckle Up Fitness, one of the oldest, longest-standing gyms throughout the Atlanta area and really throughout the United States. It's a tall order, but hey, anything can happen here. This is mixed martial arts fighting.
We're about to get ready and get started with your final little batch of fights here, all leading up to our title fights here tonight. Boyd versus Oduwole, and we will send it to the cage to Jennifer Oxendine, ready to bring our fighters to the cage.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, just a quick reminder, official after party tonight is at Hogg's Upstairs Tavern. Make sure you join us there. It is the only place that you're going to be able to catch the post-fight awards of the night as well. So we're going to go ahead and jump into our next fight. It's an MMA fight, catchweight at 175 pounds, brought to you by Fix Law LLC. First, fighting out of the red corner, please welcome to the cage, Khalil Boyd.
Khalil Boyd, a former rugby player, here tonight, steps into the cage. He has a lot of different credentials that he has listed for me. He's won a silver medal at the American Grappling Federation in BJJ no-gi. So we're going to see a guy who, out of Rick Severin, out of the Memphis, kind of same thing as his teammate. But a little bit of a ground game from this guy. But he also said he does have a lot of stand-up experience, prefers to stand. Be interesting to see what he does here in this fight.
Well, you know, we mentioned before, Dean Bates, his teammate there out of Memphis, actually demonstrated some ground prowess. Most notably, the butterfly sweep, which I said before is not a beginner's style technique. So, you know, it makes me think that there may be more to this guy than just a simple debut competitor.
We will see what Boyd brings to the table. He mentioned to me that he was a forever white belt. He wasn't a big fan of the belt system and just likes grappling, just likes having a little fun with it, and prefers to strike, though. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does against the 4-0 opponent. Said he was excited when he got offered a opponent who was had a lot more fights than him, and was not only a lot more fights, like we've seen a debut guy against 2-2, 4-0, a little bit more of a scary kind of vision that you get in your head when you think debut versus 4-0. But he said he welcomed it, and he was very interested in the fight once he heard that he was 4-0.
Well, he's got a lot of guts. You know, Yemi Oduwole, he's a very seasoned amateur in mixed martial arts competition, of course, out of Knuckle Up Fitness, and we're about to hear from him now.
And his opponent out of the OEB blue corner, please welcome to the stage, Yemi Oduwole.
Yemi Oduwole makes his way to the cage. This guy who's 4-0. Knuckle Up's had a real good night tonight. Their guys looked good earlier. Bright Benson looked very good earlier. And they will have their final teammate in our main event later on tonight. 4-0, a win here. Title contention. We can play a big spoiler role right here with Khalil Boyd. What do you expect to see from Oduwole?
Well, you know, it's very interesting you should bring that up. You know, a month ago, you know, there was the Arena Combat event, and Yemi Oduwole and Bright Benson were both actually scheduled to be there competing together on that card. Two of the brightest stars, no pun intended, and so I'm anxious to see the second half of that duo.
You see age difference. Khalil Boyd only 19 years old. Oduwole's 26. Boyd, a big frame at 6 foot, and both guys weighing right around the 175 mark here tonight. I expect a little striking from both guys. Be interested to see which guy kind of takes it to the ground first. Knuckle Up has a striking reputation, and just Boyd's build and some of the things he's told me, I expect to see him want to come out and strike, much like his teammate Bates did earlier.
Well, again, when you don't know anything about your opponent, you tend to want to try to confine them. You know what I mean? Because even if you've got a strong striking pedigree, if a guy comes out really wild in these small gloves, anything can happen. You can get clipped on the chin. It's typically in your best interest to grab the hips, get them to the ground, cool them off a little bit, and that way you can judge for yourself under these controlled in this controlled area how to proceed. Now that may not be the case. Yemi may come out and he may throw for the fences, and we may have us a firefight here.
Well, we will look forward to seeing what happens here tonight as we are back in action here at 175 pounds. Yemi Oduwole, who is about to enter the cage now, against Khalil Boyd. Both these guys looking to make a quick impact here at Valor Fights 29. Jennifer Oxendine in the cage. She will give the official introductions.
This bout is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. First, out of the Hogs red corner, making his MMA debut. He weighed in at 175 pounds and is representing Rick Severa in Memphis, Tennessee. Put your hands together for Khalil Boyd. And his opponent out of the OEB blue corner. He holds a record of 4 wins and no defeats. Weighed in at 176 pounds and is representing Knuckle Up Fitness in Douglasville, Georgia. Please give it up for Yemi Oduwole. Your referee for this fight is Josh Ward.
And a little intimidation there from Oduwole, saying, come to the center of the cage. Oduwole, a champion in another promotion here in the Southeast in the welterweight division, so moving up a little bit for this fight. I'm guessing 170, probably his natural weight class.
Sure, here we go.
And both guys coming out slow and steady here. We're going to feel each other out, nothing too crazy. Boyd even seems very composed at debut.
Yeah, Boyd very, very calm and very close, and keeping that left arm really, really low. That concerns me if I'm in his corner, because the overhand right could signal a lot of danger there.
He caught the kick there, but doesn't want anything to do with it. And again, ooh, good little slap on the inside leg kick there. And again, very composed. Tries to spin a back kick a little too close there. And here we go with the grappling. Oduwole going to try to put him against the cage. Boyd doing a good job lowering his hips there. Now he's going to be the one. These guys are just going to kind of battle it out here. It seems like very similar statures in their size.
Yeah, but Boyd, it seems like he's seems kind of heavy built. Like naturally has some strength to him. Yemi Oduwole, his experience though taking over right here.
The takedown went right to mount.
Yeah, and that's a great position to be in.
We will
if
see.
you're Oduwole, of course, Khalil Boyd.
He's not a big fan of this position.
No, in a tough spot, only a little over a minute into his debut inside the cage.
Again, we will see what he has on the ground. Might be setting up an armbar here is Oduwole, as he tries to isolate the left arm here. He's trying to hold it. It also could free up some more punches to kind of pin that arm away from the face.
Kind of surprised that we're not seeing any kind of motion out of Boyd. If he were to stayed on his back, posted his feet, he could have bridged.
Ooh,
looking to get up here. But Oduwole showing his grappling prowess.
Yep. And now full back control here. Looks like maybe both hooks are in for Oduwole, who is on the back of Khalil Boyd. It's really a perfect hook set. And now this might be a nice chance for Boyd. Very good by Boyd.
Good escape there.
And he got a little too close, and now we're back in the grappling. See if they can separate. Oh, it might be a big takedown here coming from Oduwole.
Again, Boyd showing that he has the athleticism and sort of the shows the beginnings of some ability.
Yes.
But really doesn't know how to pull the trigger yet. It's almost like he's missing a little piece there in the technique, and Oduwole is definitely taking advantage
Doing
here.
a good job here, kind of staying on his feet. He's got to be careful not to get his back taken on the feet, which has just now happened. Oduwole has the back of Boyd, and he's going to try that little takedown we seen earlier. Very nice. Yeah. And side control here, and a great job by Boyd. Coming right back to his guard. He got to be careful here and see what he sets up. His opponent earlier was using a lot of open guard.
Yeah. And that's the one thing that we discussed earlier that concerns me if the open guard is, of course, you don't have the twisting footlocks allowed, but the Achilles is still open there. So when you leave that guard hanging, that's free reign for the guy on top.
Very impressed with Boyd's composure. Like, even on the ground right there, he seems very composed, not worried. A lot of times when you get put mount about a minute into a fight as a debut, it's a little bit of a freaky situation. He looks very calm, very composed. not showing a lot of debut signs here.
Yeah, and Oduwole, you know, he definitely had to work hard to do what he did do to Khalil Boyd, but he really didn't cause any damage. Definitely took the first round, however, 1-0 for Khalil Boyd. I'm sorry, for Yemi Oduwole. But Khalil Boyd, you know, is impressive. It's just like his teammate that you see there in the corner, still with his shirt off. We saw him in competition earlier, Dean Bates. It looks like he's ready to climb back in the cage again himself if you guys need it.
And we take a look at some of the replays. There you see the takedown right into Mount. Very impressive. You don't see a lot of takedowns go right into a dominant position like that, and he worked from Mount for a little bit. Still, kind of both guys feeling each other out there. Obviously, the groundwork won the round for Oduwole, and we'll get it back here standing. And Boyd looked good on his feet, so we'll see how long this fight stays on his feet, or Oduwole feels best on the ground maybe now. Good inside leg kick there from Boyd.
Of course, Khalil Boyd, a youngster here, you know, 19 years of age. Fresh as rain, if you will.
And Oduwole threw that head kick at the side with that handstand a little bit low. Hands coming up a little bit higher now. Catches the kick. This could be a takedown. He pulls it. Maybe trying to set up a guillotine or even a modified darts, but he has nothing. And we are now back with Oduwole on top. And Boyd working to get his guard back here. Again, though, an open guard, and Oduwole trying to take advantage. Boyd doing a good job with his hips so far, but in the end will get put inside control.
Well, you know, the style and posture is eerily similar to his teammate Dean Bates. They look very, like, composed. It doesn't seem like they're, you know, in any trouble whatsoever. They're calm, but still not making any progress forward to win the bout. You know, definitely in a tough spot here.
The knees to the body and elbows to the body being utilized by Oduwole. It'll be interesting to see if he chooses to stay in side control, if he takes Mount again. And what he sets up, he's doing a very good job. He's trying to pin an arm down and go for a little bit of a crucifix here. And this could set up an arm triangle, or actually he doesn't have the arm pin. He might just try to take the back.
Yeah, and this is definitely a good position. You know, he's got that crossface in, and it's very uncomfortable. But he switches right back to the underhook and just landing a few shots. Of course, Oduwole unable to drop the left elbow here because it is amateur competition. Doesn't stop him from attacking that straight arm lock.
When he's going to pull his legs over his head, he's not going to be able to. He's turned his body, which might make his arm not such an arm bar.
And, you know, that's a tough spot to finish, but what it will do is entice him to bend the arm and look back into the Americana, which will be even tighter, that spot. In this case, iron cross on, big shots from Yemi Oduwole with that left hand.
And again, that arm is trapped, therefore he's not able to block a lot of punches. He only has one arm. He turns, and now he's got the arm back, but he's going to give up his back here. And both hooks in for Oduwole, a position we were in the first round, and Boyd was able to actually get back to his feet. Oh, big shot.
Yeah, he's going to have to move here, or we're going to see Josh Ward step in here to stop this bout. These are amateurs.
And again, he's bucking, trying to get him to come up. And earlier he did get back to his feet here. He's trying that again. And now he's reaching that hand through. Might try a rear naked choke here for the finish. 30 seconds left. He's flattened him out.
Oh, this could be the end.
And that is the end of the fight. Great performance by Yemi Oduwole. A rear naked choke finish in the second round. Boyd, though, a debut taking on a 4-0 guy. Hard not to be impressed. Really battling out of some tough positions there and taking the fight to the second round.
He really didn't take any damage. That's the thing. You know, he and his teammate both, I mentioned it before, Dean Bates, they were very, like, composed. Now, of course, it meant disaster in this fight. You know, they weren't able to progress, but it's a good base. You know, if these guys move on and continue to improve their skills, they're youngsters, it could be a good future. But as of now, Yemi Oduwole, he advances to 5-0. That's a tremendous amateur record.
It's a big thing to be early in your career. It's going to be real interesting to see what he does going forward, representing Knuckle Up. Good night for Knuckle Up so far with Bright Benson. Now Yemi Oduwole, both keeping their undefeated records intact. Rear naked choke finish in the second round for Yemi Oduwole, and we are on the way to getting an official decision here. And a possible future contender at 170 pounds. I guess he's now a for sure contender, going to 5-0 in the Valor welterweight division. Yemi Oduwole, and we will send it to the cage. Jennifer Oxendine going to have the official decision here at Valor 29.
Your referee stops this fight at 2 minutes and 29 seconds into the second round. For your winner by rear naked choke out of the OEB blue corner, Yemi Oduwole.